Video, I was sent a brand new device that was on Kickstarter, and it was called the MagVolt charger for iPhone and Android. This time in the mail, I just received the Olala iDISK mobile memory, 128 gigabytes. This is obviously an expansion of storage for your iPad or iPhone, and in basically anything that has a lightning adapter, as you can see. So basically it supports USB 3.0. It also offers password protection. They have dual ports, obviously one side's lightning, one side's USB 3.0. And then on top of that, we have compatibility for the 5, 6, 6 Plus, and most likely the 7. Now right now I'm reviewing this thing, and I'm using the iPhone 7 to make this little video. So what I have here is an iPad 4th generation. Now this iPad was an LTE model, and the reason why I felt the LTE model made sense is because if I travel to a country outside the US, what I can do is I can get one of their SIM cards and I can pop that in there, and when you use one of their SIM cards, you can use their carrier network, and I can use this iPad as either a map or possibly I could use a smaller phone in order to, talk on their network. So anyway, this is the device, and as you can see, this is a 128 gigabyte device. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up, and then we're gonna pop it into this 16 gigabyte iPad, and we're just gonna see basically how it works. But you pretty much already know how this works. It's pretty straightforward. The problem was that Apple was making 16 gigabyte iPhones and they were making 16 gigabyte iPads, and the problem is the space or the capacity fills up almost immediately, which is one of the reasons why I needed an iPhone 256 gigabytes so bad. So when I got the iPhone 7, I got the biggest one that I could possibly get, the Plus with 256 gigabytes. These aren't necessary if you don't really need them, but for the 16 gigabyte iPhone holders who have lightning ports, I would actually recommend one of these, simply because when it comes time to expand your memory, or if it came time to change your firmware, like if you had to download new firmware from Apple, you'd probably end up running out of space, because some of these new iOS versions take like more than like 2 gigabytes in order to download all the files for, so they can install themselves. So something like these things became very popular when Apple ran into that issue of the upgrade to the iOS 7 and iOS 8 eating away at the 16 gigabyte iPhone capacities. So some people might absolutely need this. Capacity for USB 3.0 flash drives has reached 256 gigabytes at a cost of only about $60. If you look online, they have up to 1 terabyte of flash drive storage with USB 3.0, but you're going to pay easily $1,000, somewhere around $899 to $1,000 for one of those. And it's actually funny that this came in the mail, because I really did want to get another flash drive, because one of my flash drives I basically used to hold Windows 10. So I didn't really want to use that flash drive. I just wanted to keep Windows 10 on it, so if I needed to install it on anybody's computer who I know, like to upgrade them for Windows 8, I could. So I really wanted a different flash drive just to have, just in case I had files that I wanted to move. Now my iPhone is 256 gigabytes. At this point, I really don't need expandable storage for my iPhone. However, this iPad is 16 gigabytes, and that's not a lot. So basically what you do is you just stick this into the USB lightning port right here. And I'm doing this with one hand. And when you do, what you'll notice is it says app not installed. It says the accessory iDISK Me uses an app that you have not installed. So I have to install the app, which is, and here's one thing as far as the review goes, I'm glad that this thing automatically directs you to the website where you have to go to install that app. So this way you don't really have to look around for it, which is, that's pretty good. Okay. iDISK Me, and as you can see, it's a free app, so all I gotta do is push get and it will install. It's unfortunate that Apple isn't like Windows, where device drivers are automatically identified and automatically recognized. However, this is one of the ways that Apple keeps more security over its devices, so some people actually appreciate that. One thing that I do find a bit annoying is the fact that unless you're using an extension wire, this thing juts out of the bottom of whatever device you're plugging it into. So that means you pretty much have to use it while it's laying flat, because you don't ever want to risk damaging the lightning port. So from the get-go, the first screen shows you the capacity remaining on your device. This device believes that this is an iPhone when it's really an iPad. Doesn't really matter. It says it's 2.54 gigabytes remaining, and then on this side obviously you have the storage capacity of the iDISK. So let's see. Basically, if you go here, it can find things that are already on the device. So if you push music, if you have music, it can find music. If you have settings, it goes to that, and this allows you to set a password for your device so that this way it can't easily be hacked by somebody. That's very good. Movies and whatnot can be stored in this area. I really don't have a lot of stuff on there. I think I have some pictures and that's about it. So pictures pop up like right here for the external storage, and then you also have the camera. So basically, if you're videoing something, you can actually video directly from the iPad directly to the iDisk, so that this way you can take 128 megabytes worth of photos or video. So that's actually a very nice thing for certain people who would need that. So as you can see right here, there's a photo of the video button. So I'm going to push cancel. Okay, so let's look on the iPad itself. It asks you, can we access your photos? I'm going to push yes. And basically it beautifully arranges all of your apps and your files to make it very easy to get to. So right here you say photo library. Now here's the thing, I'm not very certain all the stuff that I had in my photo library. So yeah, I had a couple of videos, like how about this one? Oh yeah, this one was with Master Shake when he was being attacked by some gangsters. So I'm not going to use that one. But I also had this one of this idiot who was on one of those hoverboards, and she fell down. Yeah. So basically, what I can do is, with access to that app, I can basically move it from the iPad to the iDisk. So if I go here, let's say I want to move that one, and say, yeah, I'll move her, this one, and let's say I'm going to pause it right there, and let's say I want to push save, and that's it. And it saves. You see that? It just says saved, and that's it. Very quick, very simple, very easy. And your largest videos is what these iDisks are best for. So if you have very, very large videos, like for instance, if you go on vacation, this thing allows you to hold up to 128 gigabytes, which was absolutely the size of my last iPhone. These things can also be really good for backing up an entire iPhone, especially if you're on vacation and you have smaller than 128 gigabytes. I don't really like using these things per se, because the problem is, if you're using, say, iMovie, access speeds for one of these things aren't as fast as they are from the Apple's internal NAND flash. So basically, as you can see, this thing already recognizes that video that I just saved, and if I want, I can pull that video from iMovie into the new project generator. But basically, the use of these devices can't be really argued with. If you need more storage, these things provide cheap storage. So if you have a 16 or a 32 or a 64, this provides you with inexpensive storage. If you have music stored on this, it will access through your car's USB port and allow you to listen to music that you may have stored from your phone or whatever backup you may have from your computer. Like in my car, I keep a 32 gigabyte SD card. So basically, that's it. It's a perfect product, and it has a great looking app, and it does what it's supposed to do, what it's advertised to do. And that's basically it. So if you need the storage space, I would consider getting one. Frankly, I would really like to see a 256 gigabyte version of this, and eventually you'll probably have a 512, and you'll probably eventually, maybe 3 years from now, you have a 1 terabyte, and that'll probably cost less than $100. But for the time being, anyone with a 16 gigabyte iPhone or iPad should definitely consider getting one of these.